So moving into the commentary role, as you said, you and I kind of started doing that pretty much around the same time. And you just put out a tweet the other day about it's been 2 years of you doing commentary and your confidence is where you need it to be. You feel like you've hit your stride. What has that whole process been like for you to now be sitting in that seat and feeling really solid there?
Yeah. I mean, I don't, it's, I mean that statement in that I feel super excited to have kind of found the two coworkers that I jive with really well. And this is not taking away from anyone else I've ever worked with, Morrow, Nigel, Tom Phillips. I've had great experiences and learned so much from everybody, you included, Renee. We had lots of fun. I think
We
that
did have fun.
we were
We
like,
got to do the Mae Young Classic together. Both of us were like, do you know what you're doing? I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll
no,
figure it out.
with Michael Cole right in the middle. He must have just been like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But it was a fun experience.
It
But
was.
I learned so much, with each little, and what I know is wrestling. I liken this a lot to wrestling. And I feel like when you're wrestling in the beginning, especially, like, you take a little something from each opponent where you're like, oh wow, I like the way they did that. Or wow, I learned a lot from that moment and having to think on my feet. And so I've taken so much from getting to work with, the best of the best.
Mhm.
So to be in the point where I'm at now, where also I feel like I know the product so well, which was huge for me, because coming into NXT, it's such a fast-paced product.
Yeah.
And I'm a kid of the 80s and 90s, and I'm watching slower paced matches and slower paced style. And so this is like ba 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 ba. And when I started, I came home to Adam and I said, man, I was crying. I was like, I can't keep up. I'm too old for this. I can't do it. And he was just like, you just don't know it. And they don't know you. And also all the feedback was so toxically bad. And like, you suck and freaking like, just, I had to like,
How was it?
I had to
How did
block
you
it
keep
out.
that? How did you keep that out of your head? Because I had a tough time with that, where I couldn't help myself because I felt that way as well. And they were echoing how I felt. So I couldn't help but be like, you're right. I get it. That like, how did you move past that?
Well, I remember texting you about it too at times and being
Mhm.
like, I can't do this. It's like, and if you don't believe in yourself, then you definitely can't do it. It's like, it's sometimes when the whole world doesn't believe in you, you got to be the one that does in order to keep going forward. But, I think that Michael Cole, I'll give him the credit on this. He was like, what you need is reps. And
Mhm.
in those moments when everybody was saying, you suck, like, I swore, sorry, but
Oh,
you know,
swear all you want on here. We don't mind.
when the feedback was just like, you suck, I would just tell myself, Cole says you just need reps. You need reps, reps, reps. So every time I was going to work, I was looking at like putting in time in the gym.
Yeah.
Beth, you're not going to get a body overnight. You're not going to break your bench press overnight. You got to go put in the reps. And so like, that's how I had to look at it when I wanted to cry and I wanted to quit. Like, I just was believing all the hate. I had to be like, you go in there and you do your freaking workout and you do your reps, because one day you're going to break your bench press record.
Damn
and
right.
and so, and I put out that tweet the other day because I just had fun at the desk. It was like the first time, and I told Vic this and I told Stu this. I had fun, and I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting to have the moment where I can sit down and the red light's on and I'm not a deer in headlights and terrified. And what am I going to say? And I just had fun because I felt safe with two people that elevate me, and I have great people on the headset that elevate me, and we just had fun. And I feel like
Who's in your headset at NXT? Who's
we've got
producing? Okay.
Fathom and Pomrico are with us,
Got it. Got it.
and Tom produces us.
Mm.
So, they're all friends and all people that I have a great deal of respect for. And I just feel like it's a team. It's a real team effort. And I am all about being on a team. Like, put me in, coach.
100%, especially when you're in a situation like that. And I felt very much as much as Cole did whatever he could to try to help me, Graves did what he could to help me. You start doing 3 hours of Raw every week, they have to worry about themselves. They didn't have time to worry about me.
Yes.
And I very much so felt like I was on my own island. I was like, I just need someone to hold my hand a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to get over that like hump. And the fact that you've been able to do that and you're in a comfortable spot and you put in the work. I mean, you put in work at absolutely everything that you do. And working at NXT is such a great spot for that as well, for you to be able to like, you can work and you've got the freedom in there to do what you do and to grow and to be better. And obviously that shows.
Well, and I'm not trying to compare experiences, but I don't know doing commentary on Raw and SmackDown, so I can't speak to that. I know what I hear, but I don't know.
Oh,
But
she's
what I
crazy.
know, sure, it comes with its own set of challenges and excitement.
Mhm.
But at NXT, I know you hit the nail on the head. I was given the chance to grow. They didn't give up on me when the first 6 months, probably first year, was super rocky. They didn't like Hunter didn't, if I would make a big mistake, it wasn't like she's done. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Hunter gave,
Hunter's great with that, I will say. Like he would send
yes.
me texts sometimes, and like those were the words of encouragement that I needed. Like I was so happy that he had reached out to me times when he did.
And I feel like when you have somebody that's trying to nurture you like that, I feel like that motivates you to grow. You know what I mean? Like that motivates me, like, okay, he didn't give up on me, so I can't give up on me. I got to bring my best effort because I have people that are trying to lift me up. So I don't want to come here and phone it in.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's just been NXT has been a great place. And I watched that happen with talent too, being, given the chance to grow and try new things and take the handcuffs off and, be able to pitch ideas and really get like a collaborative effort going on. And that's what I love about the NXT environment, and yeah, we can all just get better.
100%. And that was something that like even me saying is like, I felt weird when I was doing commentary. I felt like I couldn't get other people's voices out of my head. But then when I felt like people had given up on me, like I really truly, like, I mean, I'll just say it here, but I felt like Vince had given up on me. Just that feeling. And maybe I don't know. And maybe it was just in my own head of me feeling that way, that I always just felt very like, oh, I felt very insecure about it the entire time. So every time I would walk back through Gorilla, I'm like, oh, I don't even want to look at anybody. I just want to like get in my car and go to the next town. But like those were the things that would chip away at me that I'm like, oh my gosh, I just need to like get out of this chair.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make it work. I did really want to make that work and be successful. More so, not even for myself, but for laying that groundwork down for other women to jump in there. And as much as, it was made a big deal for me to be the first woman to call Monday Night Raw and WrestleMania and all that, I'm so happy that I was the woman that got to do that. But it should have been you.
No.
Yes.
No, Renee.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And I will tell you why.
Because at the right time, yes. Anyways,
no.
Go ahead.
But I will say, like, what you can do, I could not then, and I could not now do. And you bring such an energy and a brightness and you also bring out the best in people. When I remember we did the panel before Evolution.
Yeah.
And I remember it was me, you, and Paige.
Yeah.
And I just remember that again, like I've done panels before and I'm so nervous and I'm like trying to remember my pre-written out answers and, and then that was the first time where I feel like we had no time and Michael Cole was like, throw away your notes. And we just sat down and the red light went on and like Renee just did Renee. And I was like, oh my God, I just saw the magic of being in that position. And the hardest thing in the world to do is to make your guests feel comfortable so that you can bring out the best in them, especially whether you don't have a rapport behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like talking to a friend might be a little bit easier, but a brand new person, and you and I were friends, but not as close as we are now. Right. And I remember in that moment being like, wow, like that's a skill set that I admire very much.
Well, and that was the thing for me, is like hosting panels and hosting shows and being able to do this where it's like, we can just chat and have a time. I love doing that. Talking in little sound bites and finding those right times in matches to talk is like, but what, like literally when Michael Cole and Hunter were like, you're going to step in and do Monday Night Raw, I was like, okay, great. And then I was like, wait, how do you do that? I never even thought that's, talking in those sound bites and finding those right moments in like certain moments in a match. It is such a different skill. So like anyone that's in that commentary desk, I mean, I applaud them all damn day long.
Oh yes. I have a lot of respect for everybody that does the role.
Yes, definitely.